Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Ajax Public Library 2021 HeARTbeat Visual Art Show. My name is Georgina. I am the Youth Services Librarian here at Ajax, and I will be your host this afternoon. HeARTbeat is our annual art show where we would invite our 5 local high schools to submit work, which we would then hang in our Rotary Room for us to gather and celebrate the artistic talents of our local teens. Of course, this year's show is entirely virtual, and you can view the full gallery as well on our website at ajaxlibrary.ca. And then, of course, there's this video, as well as more content on our YouTube, including artist statements and artist interviews with some of the students who submitted work this year. We received 30 submissions from Pickering High School and Archbishop Denis OConnor Catholic High School. And I would like to personally extend my thanks to those teachers for working with us to make this year's show possible. Now, before we embark on this visual feast, because the art you're about to see is truly awe-inspiring, I encourage you to pause the video here and go grab some charcuterie, go grab your favorite drink. Feel free to play the music that you like to enjoy while you're in this sort of space so that you can just appreciate this art to the fullest because it is fantastic. I also encourage you, once we get started, to pause the video if there's a piece of art that you really just want to drink up and absorb, and then come back to the rest of the show when you're ready. I'll be here as your host and guide, just providing some commentary and sharing some of the notes that I received students about their pieces, about the mediums they worked with, and the symbolism behind some of these pieces. And if you want to see some of that content in more detail, I encourage you to jump over to our YouTube as well. We are so grateful that we were able to put on this show despite the circumstances, and I'm so excited for all of you to see it. So without further ado, let's start the show. Now, this first set of pieces we received from Archbishop Denis OConnor Catholic High School. This is Behind the Frame by Isabella. She actually did an artist interview with us. It was painted with acrylic, and I encourage you to go watch that interview because the process for this was amazing. This is Between the Pages by Christian. It is an ink drawing. The detail here is absolutely fantastic with the leaves on the trees and the roots coming into the person as they read. This is Eyes of the Forest by Maddie. It is a multimedia painting. She draws a lot of inspiration from mythology and forest legends, and all of her pieces have some sort of theme of environmental stewardship. This is part of the figurative painting series, and this is Figurative Painting by Christian, and it was painted with acrylic. I love the use of blue here to get the shapes. There's often a lot of monochromatic. This is another figurative painting, and it's by Elijah. It's also painted with acrylic as well. You can see the definition and the movement, especially in the pants. This is an action shot. This is Figurative Painting by Sierra. It's also painted with acrylic as part of this series. I love the use of pastel. A little bit different, this is Figurative Sculpture by Elijah, and it was created using wire. Now this is part of a Fruit Still Life series. This is Fruit Still Life by Trinity, and it is a mixed media collage. Definitely makes me hungry for some fruit. See the use of newspapers in the back of the painting. And this is Fruit Still Life by Elisa, and it is also a mixed media collage. I like that you can see More Money for Art Council in the corner. This is Target by Jevon, and he submitted an artist statement to us. It features prominently the black hoodie, which draws on symbolism from Black Lives Matter and the life of an African North American man. These are some of our landscape paintings, and this is Landscape Painting by Aubrey. I love how pastoral this painting is, how the sky just seems to extend up until forever. The clouds are so fluffy. And this is Landscape Painting by Seth, which was painted with acrylic. So was Aubrey's as well, and this shows a mountain with a little bit of smoke coming out of the top and a beautiful cherry blossom at the front of the painting. This was another sculpture by Maddie. It is Nature's Hand. She provided us with an artist statement for this piece and for Eyes of the Forest. You can see the moss affixed to the hand and the roots in the hand. And this is Value Portrait by Haley. It was painted with acrylic, using all different shades of blue to depict this face. Now that was all the work from Archbishop, and these were the paintings we received from Pickering High. A little bit of a tongue twister. This is A Serene Shell Sits Amidst a Message from the Sea by Anita, and it was painted with watercolor. This is Pastel Sea by Anita, and it was painted or drawn with chalk pastel, and you'll see this scene several times throughout the show from Pickering. This is I Love That Perfume by Ikra, depicting the iconic Marc Jacobs bottle. It was painted with watercolor, and Ikra mentioned that their assignment was to depict glassware. And this was also done by Ikra. It is fresh and fabulous. It is painted with acrylic with a glaze. She did a wonderful artist interview with us, which gave us a lot of insight into the assignments they received this year at Pickering. This is Spicy Dead Candle by Cameron, and it was painted with watercolor. You can see that glassware motif again. How he got the roses to look that photorealistic, I will never know. It definitely makes me want that candle. This is Life Inside a Bulb by Nuseba, and it was painted with watercolor as well. That glassware again, it's so effective seeing through the bulb here. This is You Can't See This by Nuseba, and it was drawn with chalk pastel. It's that motif again of the different bottles and sea stars and shapes. This is Global Warming by Cynthia, and it was painted with watercolor. Got this gorgeous chrysanthemum and the pearls seemingly wrapped around a piece of ice or a bouquet. This is Black Magic by Kyla. It is a mixed media shadow box, and we received a few shadow boxes this year. This is Aged Yet Vivid by Preto, and it was painted or drawn with chalk pastel. And I love the use of blue, the heavy reliance on blue here with the different colors. This makes me want pineapple. This is Tasteful Temptation by Ashley, and it was painted with watercolor. This is Message in a Bottle by Anna, and it was drawn with chalk pastel. I love the more muted pastels here for her take on this assignment. This is Saturated Antiques by Jordan, and it was drawn with chalk pastel. I find it amazing how he achieved the gold in the teapot and in the bowl. This is Reading Nook by Michelle, and it's a mixed media shadow box. And if you look, you'll see two different views, the daytime cityscape and then the nighttime cityscape between the two windows. This is Timeless Contradictions by Cynthia, and it is also a mixed media shadow box. But this one, you're almost stepping into it. It's been broken, or at least it looks like it has. And finally, this is Don't Cry Over Spilled Water by Anna, and it was painted with watercolor, that glassware again. I won't cry over spilled water. I haven't spilled any of it yet. And those were the submissions for this year's show. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you revisit this video often, especially in times where you need to feel inspired. And I would just like, on behalf of Ajax Library, again, to extend my thanks to the art teachers who worked with us and to the students who were more than willing to share their artwork with us. We are so glad that we had the opportunity to celebrate you. And I just want to further that by saying that I hope you continue with your artistic pursuits. For those that aren't graduating, I hope that we'll see you next year in next year's show. And I hope that come 2022, we're all able to invite you back into our Rotary Room to enjoy this artwork in person. So thank you so much, everyone, for joining us. This has been our 2021 HeARTbeat Visual Art Show, and have an absolutely wonderful evening.